welcome to my channel. My name is Erica, and today's video is part 11, I'm pretty sure, of my Would I or Wouldn't I series I do here on my channel every month. And I did get this idea from a beautiful, amazing creator here on this platform. Her name is Angelica Larimar, and I will link her channel in my description box. And what I do is I grab 10 palettes at random out of my collection, make a little stack out of them, and then I'm going to go through these with you and let you know which one of these palettes I would repurchase and why or why not. So I will start off with the palette that I do have on my eyelids today, and that is the Angel palette from C Color. Now, C Color is no longer in business, and I really wish I'd gotten more C Color palettes when I had the opportunity, although I have decluttered a few of my C Color palettes. But this palette, I don't think I'm ever going to declutter. I hadn't used this in a while, and it worked so well, and I just love the outer packaging. Now, C Color is a dupe, or was a dupe brand. They would dupe more expensive palettes for a more affordable price, and I just love that because I'm cheap. But I just think this is a gorgeous color story. I love the cool tones in here. Love cool toned eyeshadows. And I just think this is a really nice combo of colors together. Now, this is duping a KVD palette, I'm pretty sure. And the shades that I used today, I used this shade here and this shade here in my transition areas. And then I did put this black matte in my outer corners initially, but I think what I should have done is started off with the black matte first and then maybe blended it out with this shade, or I don't know. Anyway, because I started off with my transition shades. But I just was having a tough time blending this shade out. And it's not because of the shade. It's not the shade's fault. It's just my skill set is not always what I wish it could be with certain shades. And I just really wasn't liking how it was looking. So I grabbed this shade here and popped it over the top of that. And then I put this shade next to this shade. And then I put this shade next to this shade. So this, and this are across my lids today. And I just love how these shades perform. The mattes are very pigmented, yet blend very well, but not too pigmented. I mean, they're buildable, I would say. And then the shimmers are just, well, they're more satiny, just very metallic looking, very easy to apply. They're just beautiful. And I really enjoy having this in my collection. And I would definitely, if it were possible, because C Color is no longer in business, I would definitely repurchase this. Then we have the Grape Shot palette from You Can Be. And I picked this palette up off of Amazon. And I just love this brand. I love how affordable their makeup products are. I don't know that I have anything but their eyeshadow palettes. And I really like the quality of their eyeshadows as well. And this is just a really fun purple color story because you've got pinks in here, a good range of purple tones, I would say. And, you know, I don't really hear anybody talking about this brand here on the YouTubes, but I wish they would because I've really enjoyed playing with the You Can Be palettes that I have in my collection. There is this weird, like, bally, I don't know what that is, shade. Like, I think it's kind of like oily. I've never done anything with that shade. I should try that shade maybe one day on my channel. That would be kind of fun. But I really like the mix of like mattes and shimmers in here. And I do think it's very pretty. Now, would I repurchase this? After trying the Gothic palette from Cosmic Brushes, that is my favorite purple palette now in my collection. And I've only used it twice, but oh, so good. So yeah, if I didn't have the Gothic palette from Cosmic Brushes, I would say, oh yes, I would definitely repurchase this. But because I have that palette, I don't know that I would repurchase this. Then we have the Sweet Shot Pistachio palette from BH Cosmetics. My favorite green palette in my collection. Absolutely wonderful. Green eyeshadows are my absolute favorite. And I need to use this palette a hell of a lot more than I have used it. I have this weird thing with this palette, like I have with a lot of my palettes in my collection, that I want to save it forever. But that's so stupid because you know, this deserves a ton of love. I was so happy when the Sweet Shot palettes got re-released because I did grab this off their website, and then I don't know, I just didn't feel like I needed the other ones. Then I fell across the other ones at Marshall's and bought the rest of them except for the brown waffle cone palette. I would say that this is BH Cosmetics' best formula. Out of all the eyeshadow palettes I've picked up from BH Cosmetics over the years, which I have several, I think this is their best quality formula. And I would absolutely repurchase this palette. Then we have the Paris palette from Folklore. Now, I used to hear a lot about folklore when I first started watching makeup content here on YouTube. I heard a lot about this brand from Jen Phelps. And so I did go, obviously, and pick up this palette off their website and was very impressed with how this palette performs. This is obviously a more neutral palette, but there's some beautiful pops of color in here. This shade right here, this green shimmer, is so beautiful. It's very metallic looking. It applies very easily and it looks great the entire day. This gold shimmer here is really nice. We have this kind of like peachy shimmer, or maybe this is more peach. This is more, this got some duochrome stuff going on in here. This is really nice. This yellow matte is stunning. I just think it's a really pretty color story. Really easy palette, I would say, to put looks together with. Great quality. I do really want to get more palettes from Folklore. I don't need any more palettes from Folklore. I would repurchase this. Then we have the Cake palette from Glamlight. Isn't that the cutest packaging ever? It's like a little oven. Pardon my ring light here. So cute. And Kimmy, my Kimmy Poo, hanging out with Kim. That's her channel name. I'll link her channel in my description box. She got me this palette. Just totally blew my mind. I could not believe. She said, I'm going to send you something. Keep your eye out for your mail. And I'm like, Kim, what'd you do? And she sent this to me. And this is just adorable. And it makes me hungry. Like every time I pull this palette out, I'm like, can I have a slice of that cake? I'd end up in the hospital. Beautiful rainbow color story. Really nice formula. Such fun options in here. I'm a huge Glamlight eyeshadow formula fan. Absolutely. I've never gotten a bum Glamlight palette once. And I do have a couple things coming from Glamlight, which I cannot wait. I did do a collab with Kim using this palette. We both used the palette and I loved both of our looks. Just so fun. It's so fun to have palettes like this that are maybe a little bit on the larger side and you have so many fun options and you know, you can do a lot of different things. You can go more monochromatic. You can mix and match, you know, just whatever your creative juices tell you to do. And this has not been used near enough. So this definitely needs to go on my pile of palettes that's on my desk. Now, I did not purchase this because it was a gift, but I would repurchase this. Then we have the Venice Fling palette from Estate Makeup or Estate Cosmetics. I'm not sure. That they did in collaboration with Bailey Sarian. And I really like the outer packaging. I think it's really cute. And I really do like this color story. I have not used this palette in such a long time. Now, I don't know that I'm going to continue to hold on to this palette because I haven't used it in such a long time. But you know, the thing is I really like the satiny shimmers in here. They are so pretty, maybe more subtle, but so pretty and apply so easily. And I really do like the mattes in here too. This is a nice formulated palette, very nice formula. But I don't know. I just don't really ever reach for this palette. So would I repurchase it? I mean, I really do like having a little piece of Bailey Sarian in my collection, but I don't think I would repurchase this. Then we have the Nomad Cosmetics Royal Europe palette, and I love the outer packaging. Nomad Cosmetics always does such a wonderful job with their packaging, and they did an absolutely magnificent job with this color story, and the quality of this palette is just superb. And you know, I wasn't going to get this palette for whatever reason. I don't know why I wasn't. And I don't know, I just seen so many people using it on their channel that I got FOMO. So I went and picked it up. And this is one of my favorite and best makeup purchases ever since I got really into makeup. So fun. And I will be doing 3 looks videos with all of my Nomad palettes. I was going to start it in November, but I'll probably start it towards the end of November and then into December. But yes, this is so gorgeous. All the shimmers down here, this bottom row, are so flippy and multi-chrome, duochrome, metallic, so beautiful. And I cannot wait to create the 3 looks video with this palette. Totally would repurchase this. Then we have the Morphe Boss Mood palette. And I know not everybody likes Morphe. I say that in every video where I show a Morphe palette, I know. But I love this color story. I love the earthiness, the grunginess. There's some vibrancy in here too. And the thing about Morphe palettes is that they're larger. Well, these ones are larger and there's so many different options. Yes, there's some repeat options, I would say. But I feel like if you're really creative with your eye looks, that this would work really well in your collection. And I also think that, you know, truly professional makeup artists that are doing other people's makeup, these types of palettes work so well because you can do tons of different things, you know. And I really do like the quality of this. This is another palette I need to use a hell of a lot more. And I really believe I would repurchase this. I mean, it's kind of giant, hasn't been used in a while, but I love it. I would repurchase it. Then we have the Bee palette from Lena Lashes. And this is an indie brand that I really wanted to get more products from, but just never did. But I just love this packaging. And I love how this palette is put together. I always want to pull this up, but you actually hold on to this and then you can lift the lid of the palette up. And I've never taken the sheet off the mirror. I don't really use the mirrors that come in my palette. But isn't that fun? It's shaped like a honeycomb. Beautiful shades in here. Lovely performance. Really enjoy this. I really enjoy this. And this needs to get more use too. God. I'd have to quit my job and just do makeup from like, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning until midnight, take a little hour nap and then start over again the next day. I love all the different color combinations that you can put together in this palette. And I just think it's a really well-rounded color story. A lot of different fun options in here and really, really nice options too. And oh, would I repurchase this? Yes, I would repurchase this. I love this palette. And finally, we have the NYX Cosmetics Ultimate Utopia palette. And I found this at Target, and I think it was on sale. I had seen Steph from Steph's Beauty Stash use this palette. And I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna get it. I'm gonna have to get it. And I'm so glad that I did. This is honestly one of my favorite palettes I have in my collection. And I think this palette is perfect for someone who loves neutrals, but also wants to experiment or play in color, because there's a lot of neutral options in here, but there's some beautiful, colorful options in here as well. And I don't know, maybe more subtle, colorful options. So you're not like totally overwhelmed and freaked out by the color in here, I wouldn't say. You know, just kind of dip your feet into the colorful pool. Everything that I've used out of this palette, I don't think I've used all the shades yet, have worked so well. And my favorite shade in this palette is this one right here, this like chartreuse shimmer shade. So beautiful. And I would totally repurchase this. Absolutely. So there was part 11, I believe, of my Would I or Wouldn't I series. And I'm so grateful to Angelica Liramar for giving me this wonderful idea, because I really enjoy doing this series. It's really fun just to kind of, you know, look through my collection and, you know, maybe look at palettes I haven't used in a while, kind of remind myself that they're in my collection. And then also just, I don't know, talk about whether I would or would not repurchase. I think this part had the most palettes in it that I would not repurchase. Typically I'm like, oh yes. And this time there was a few no's. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. I love to chat with you guys there. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video. But in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself. Be well, safe, happy, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.